Hello, welcome to Living Arts. I'm your host, Jackie Suarez. Thank you for tuning in. We have a really great guest this evening. She's the co-founder of Stitch Tailors and owns a craft service company by the name of ReelChow.com. Jenn Egatz, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jackie.
I've been looking forward to this. We actually have a mutual friend, Tony Quest, and she recommended that I have you on the show. And I'm just thrilled that you're here. I'm so excited about both these companies. So where should we begin? With the Stitch Tailors or Reel Chow?
We could do Stitch Tailors.
Okay. So how did you get involved with that?
Well, I am originally from Los Angeles, and I moved to New York City about 11 years ago, and I started working in production here and then started doing wardrobe styling. And from that, because we needed tailors and it was hard to find them last minute or really qualified tailors and seamstresses to come to set to do fittings and such, I decided to create a business that I would represent tailors and seamstresses. And I've met a lot of great people along the way that I wanted to represent. And now it's been going since 2007.
That's awesome. Did you go to, I guess, like what would be FIT or something, the equivalent of that?
No, I went to Cal State Long Beach, and my major was sociology.
Okay, go figure, right?
Yeah.
So you also do, I guess, this craft service. Now, one kind of got started from the other, I guess, being in that industry.
Being in the industry, going, working on set and having, because craft service is basically a snack table all day. And it's where it's like a coffee, tea station. You also have water, soda, like everything. And you have your staples of food on the table that you just come by, grab something on the go when you're working. And it keeps the crew fueled, basically. So I wanted to start a craft service company that I would want to eat the food off the table. I do gourmet one bites, and so it's like healthy and tasty.
Okay, what I found interesting was that you didn't go to culinary school.
No.
So this must be a huge passion of yours. You just learned to cook all these various recipes. So how did that happen?
I think it started when I moved to Bronxville after leaving the city, and I moved in with my boyfriend, who's now my husband. And being a freelancer, I had a lot of time on my hands in between jobs. So I would just cook and watch cooking shows and also come up with recipes of stuff that I would like to eat, and just kind of spun off from that.
Okay, were you hired, I guess, as a caterer at some point, and that kind of started the other company, or was strictly with the craft service?
Just strictly craft service.
Okay, now you're expanding into corporate
events and also private clients, which private clients is really fun because in Westchester you have these elaborate homes and you go into these wonderful, beautiful kitchens, and to be able to work in a different kitchen setting is really fun.
So I actually met someone that did that for Ben Stiller.
Nice.
And I guess the new thing, or the vogue thing now, is to have like a vegan chef. Or everyone wants to eat healthy.
Yeah.
What made you start Reel Chow?
My love of food and my love of cooking, and I just wanted to share it with people and give the crew healthy choices.
Okay. So what are some of these healthy choices? Tell us what your average day would be like on one of these sets, or is it mostly movies or commercials?
It's mostly commercials and photo shoots.
Okay.
So a day on set would be either it's in studio, which is easier because it's a controlled environment, versus outdoors on location, which I've done. And you go in and you bring in all your equipment and you set up, and you prep days before, though, so you make the dishes ahead of time. And usually you do that in a commercial kitchen, which they have them in Brooklyn, they have it in the city.
Okay. Where do you do you do that in Brooklyn or the city? Or?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
I thought
wherever
you might have
I
one
can
locally.
go. Yeah, locally. And then if it's in Westchester, then I do it at a kitchen in Westchester. And then I just basically get the food. I do the menu. I have all of that set up beforehand that I speak to the producers about. And I make sure that if anyone has allergies, that they know what's in the food. And I have things labeled on my table. I put about maybe meatballs, like homemade turkey meatballs with homemade sauce. People like that because you go around set and you pass it around, and it's just like this. It's before lunch, and it's this like protein kick, and it makes people happy.
Who doesn't like a meatball,
Yeah. So it's a finger food. And then I do little one bites on pastries. Like I do a zucchini carpaccio, which is with capers and lemon zest, and it's raw zucchini, which is really tasty and healthy.
So how many, I guess they would tell you, like, let's say there's going to be about 300 people that you need to feed. Because are you doing the cooking yourself, or do you have?
I do everything myself. I shop, I do the prep. I do hire an assistant to help me the day of shooting, the day that we're on the set, because it's a lot of work. I haven't done crews bigger than 125. I do like the smaller crews just because it's a tighter environment and you can actually enjoy giving people food. It's because sometimes on set I'll bring my induction portable stove, my little burner, and I cook crepes with cheese and I slice it up. That's a little bit more.
This seems a bit high end,
savory,
because I've seen some craft service foods and they were nothing like that.
Yeah.
So you're giving this a lot of style. I guess how has business been for you?
Good. Business has been good. I get to do amazing, work on amazing sets with amazing people, and you meet people from all over the world, like Spain and Italy, and it's just nice to feed people and make them happy throughout the day.
That sounds marvelous. I guess feeding somebody is like very intimate in some ways, right?
It is, yeah.
Because it's like there's nothing better than sitting down and having something to eat with someone, especially if it's really good food.
Yeah, and like your heart and soul, my heart and soul's in it when I do this, because I don't want people to say anything bad, So I make
like
sure
a
that
public
everything
service,
is good.
yeah.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
So these, you have a problem, or not a problem, but you're against GMOs, right? Am I saying it correctly?
Yeah,
the genetically modified foods.
I do just all natural. If I could do local, I do local.
Isn't that difficult to do on a kind of commercial basis, because you're looking to not spend that much money on the food, right?
Yeah.
To keep your costs down.
Yeah.
So how do you manage that?
It's hard, but I do. I manage it. You make friends with the local farmers. You make friends with people who own small, delis, and you can actually get things a little wholesale here and there. And I offer gluten-free bites as well. And
isn't it a shame that the foods that are good for you are so expensive?
Yeah.
It's like turn off is like, well, am I going to go with this all natural product, or?
Yeah.
Do you find that maybe it's going to be a little more accessible to people, or they're going to be able to control the
so.
cost?
I think so. I hope so. But there seems to be this huge revolution going on now with the food. So
this blog that you have, first of all, your website is gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
It made me want to eat everything on it, and I was like, wait a minute. I'm a foodie, so.
Thank you.
This blog that you're writing, what's the point that you're trying to get across, or what are you trying to share with people?
I just want to share dishes that I like to create in my kitchen. So usually I cook once a week, and I do it as a lunch because I do the photos too, so I have to take it with natural light, which I do in my loft, and I open the windows.
That's your
curtains.
photography on that website?
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, my photography. I use a little small Canon digital and take a bunch of pictures.
So that's some grapes that were like, they could have jumped out of the computer and.
Oh, good.
No, so it's awesome. It's awesome.
Thank you.
So basically, the blog is meant to translate, I guess, whatever recipe that you're working on at the moment. Mm-hmm. And you're also on Twitter. You're kind of using all forms of
Twitter,
social media. Is this your way of advertising? Well, obviously for yourself.
Yeah.
But do you find that everything that you're doing now is I guess through word of mouth, or?
I would definitely say word of mouth. That's probably the biggest form of advertising, especially in the industry, because you meet people on set, and, I have a business card, so I put that out as well, but definitely word of mouth.
Is this something that you would bid on, or they would just like your food and hire you?
They just come to me, yeah. They say, are you available for this? Here are the dates. This is the budget. Give them menu options. They tell me what they want, and I like to work with, within the budgets of people. So I try to offer them something that is doable, So if they can't afford me to make 3 one bites throughout the day, depending on how long the shoot day is, then I'll just do 2, but I'll time it out so it's it's nicely timed. But then you have your table of food all day anyway. So.
And you have like one other person helping you with whatever
Yeah,
goes
because you
on
have
there.
to keep everything fresh.
Great. Now you have something you've developed called the mocktail hour. What is that? Tell our audience about that.
Mocktail hour is, I like it. I think it peps people up. It's basically, we do virgin mojitos or virgin daiquiris, and or it could be seltzer water with some lemon juice and some fruit, and you pass it around set, and it just refreshes people after lunch.
Okay. Do they specify, obviously, not to put any alcohol, or is that?
Yeah. I mean, maybe on some sets, but
right,
no,
exactly.
not on
Maybe
the sets that I work on.
towards the
Alcohol-free.
end, the end of the day.
Yeah. Martini hour.
What I found interesting about what you're basically trying to do is that it seems as though it's fresh food, and you mentioned being friends with some of the local farmers. And I have, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Bird's Hall House.
Yes.
But they do a lot of, it's a local restaurant here in Peekskill, and they do a lot of cooking like that.
Like farm to table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your relationship with, with these guys, and how'd you get to know them?
Through the farmers market. And the Union Square farmers market too. So you just meet people and you say, I have a craft service company. I'm interested in, buying food from you, and how do you work it out.
Oh, the
Because
pricing
it depends. It really depends, because it's not like I know the dates of the jobs like a month in advance. Some of the jobs come in like 2 weeks out, so it's very hard to gauge that. So it's a lot of it's last minute rush for me.
So I guess, is that difficult to do, in the off season, because there's not a lot of vegetables and things that you'd be able to get a hold of?
Definitely. That's when I go to, Whole Foods or Mrs. Green's.
What's the best, farmer that you've worked with, or the best farm in this area? Or is that a loaded question, right? Because you may need to talk to somebody else. So who's your favorite?
There's, one of my favorites, but they've actually, because cheese is a really big hit on set. And you have to have really good cheese, because you have to hit every palate. And a lot of people do like exotic, but not really smelly. So I have a good relationship with Haystack, which is out in Colorado, and they will overnight me the cheese for jobs.
Wow, doesn't that get a little dicey though? Depending on the weather, or?
No.
I guess it's arriving the next day?
Yeah, and it's refrigerated. They send it with chilled, ice packs, and it works every time. So it's goat cheese. So Haystack is a good one.
Okay, anybody else?
There's a few in town, like the local ones.
I actually used to work for an internet-based gourmet food site called iGourmet. And when they started out, it was really kind of weird how they, had to be, you basically have to have it there the next day. Because most people from the West Coast or Midwest, there's no way a little piece of cheese in the summer is going to make it there and be in good shape.
Right.
So do you have most of your foods maybe shipped to you, or?
Well, for Haystack, if it's the certain kind of goat cheese that I want, they'll ship it to me. But mostly depending on the season, I shop it like the day before.
Okay, what would you want, Reel Chow to evolve into?
That's a good question, because I feel like it's, evolving on its own kind of, because I do like to share my recipes. I think that I do enjoy the private client cooking. That's something that I definitely enjoy.
Okay, so maybe that's you own the company by yourself, or you said your husband helps you with with some of the cooking.
Yeah.
It seems amazing that you can make that much food over a few days. Is it difficult to travel to Brooklyn or travel to the city to get some of these things done?
Well, yeah. I rent a van to make that happen, and I have my coolers and my containers, and there's a system. Eventually, it just becomes like this system that you know what you need to chop, what you need to slice, you just have it, and then you have to just be really organized with everything, because I also bring my plates and my cups. I mean, I provide everything, you know, my Nespresso machine for the espresso, my tea, my coffee maker, everything. I just bring it in. So it's very...
I'm assuming these things are disposable, or there's some of the items?
Some are disposable. Some sets, they try to be more green, which is good. Mm-hmm. But you can't count on everyone bringing their own water bottles to set, you know.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, one of the hits that I love, and I think it's good just for every party, if you're hosting, is to have spa water. So it's like you get the big sangria jar, and you put, you know, really cold water with ice cubes, and then you put lemon slices, lime slices, fresh rosemary sprigs, mint, fresh cranberry. Like, I do it by season. So for the fall, I will do fresh cranberries, rosemary, and lemon. And then for summer, I switch it up with, you know, lime, lemon, and mint.
So this is basically tap water, though?
And it's filtered water. Okay. Yeah, I have to buy jugs of filtered, and I bring it to set, and then we have ice, and then I just refresh it all day long. But people come up, and they have the little cups, and they fill it up, and they are like, this is so good.
Yeah, I've got to try something like that, because it sounds very, like, refreshing. And
it's pretty, too, to look at.
Yeah, it's nice. Mm-hmm. What are some of the challenges you've been having with your business? Nothing comes to mind. So things are going swimmingly.
Things are going good for now. Knock on wood.
That's awesome. You know, especially I think it's so just cool that at this stage in your life you've been able to accomplish all these things, and it's really inspiring. What it is, the word that comes to mind.
Thank you.
So let's see. You are living here in Peekskill, and how long have you been here? 3 years. You know, I read the Westchester magazine article, and it almost seemed as if it was like just catering kind of to the companies in Westchester. Right. It's like, is it difficult to find jobs? Because I don't think a lot of things are filmed here in Westchester.
A lot of things are not filmed here in Westchester, but some of them are. You know, if you do location jobs, they're going to film at a house or something. They will come up to Westchester, because I've done some of those jobs. Also, there are, like the big corporate ones, like Pro Photo and Pocket Wizard, and if they do shoots up here, then I will come in and cater to that.
So, what are some of the best jobs that you've had, or some of the things you've worked on?
Well, I could tell you funny stories. The one job I did was for a Banana Republic holiday, and this we shot in the middle of summer, and it was down on, I think, Charles Street or Perry Street in New York City, and they had fake snow with a big fan. And, I have a table of food, and we had a tent, but people kept coming in and out, and there was all this fake snow blowing everywhere, and it was probably 99 degrees outside, hot and sticky in the middle, of summer. It was just it was really hard, because you want to keep everything fresh. You don't want anything to get dirty, and, it was just, oh my gosh, it was facing the troubles of the day. Yeah, it was very labor intensive.
So would you have worked on anything that, besides Banana Republic, that we'd know of?
I did an Armani shoot at the old Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, featuring Rihanna. Okay. And that was shot in the summer as well, and that was a hot day. And we were in a parking garage for about 16 hours. It was a long one, and that was a big crew. It was over 100 people.
What's been like your favorite experience?
I think my favorite experience has been, you mean for craft service, just on location?
Yeah. Who's like some of the best companies to work for? Because I'm assuming you get a lot of repeat business.
I would say that doing Armani is fun. It's good, especially when it's in studio. Also working for JCPenney Mango. That's a smaller crew, and it's just kind of more of a controlled environment, so there's not any surprises popping up. That's also a really good client to work for. And a lot of them, the crew, I think they fly in from California, which is nice because I'm a California native, and they like my fruit salad.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
So how is, with coming from your background or being in California, has that shaped the kind of chef that you are, or the types of food that you like?
Probably. I like a lot of citrus. I do. And I like fruit salad. I think that, that's a big one.
Is it easier to get certain types of food in California just because it's, I guess the weather's more stable, or it's not, you don't have as harsh seasons?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Here it's hard because in the winter you have your choice of root vegetables. You know.
Yeah, the produce, section looks a little
Yeah.
sparse,
Yeah.
So what do you have coming up? What are your plans for the company, or how are you reaching out to some of is it the plan to be a personal chef for someone?
Yeah, I've been doing that. I definitely want to continue that. I'm focusing right now just on the blog, and I'm going to start doing videos to get that out and to share my cooking, because I think that a lot of people are more visual than wanting to read.
Is there a cookbook in your future?
I would love a cookbook, so we'll see. I think I have to create a lot more recipes to have that happen, but maybe.
How many would you say that you have now? You could probably do a little one.
I would say I probably have over 80 or 100 recipes. I don't know. I have to look at my blog for that.
That would seem like enough for a cookbook.
A cookbook, yeah.
So what are some of the foods what's the trend like now? You said it was more, I guess people are being more health conscious, but what are some of the trends happening in food? Or
the trends? A lot of people are into quinoa pasta, and yeah, I would say just substituting for healthier alternatives has been a really big one. Using, different kind of oils versus butter. One of my favorite to go to is virgin coconut oil unrefined, because it's cold pressed, and it's also creamy. So not really creamy, but it adds a little bit more silkiness. Where if it works with the dish, you might think it's butter, but it's not.
Avocado oil, and
Avocado
actually I
oil.
saw a couple of those things
Yeah.
on your site as well.
Yeah, walnut oil.
Do you find that most people are substituting, I guess, some of the heavier things? Is it? It's not only healthy for you, but it's also going to, save them, the pounds.
Yeah.
Which is a nice
Definitely.
combo, right?
It is.
So, what's your favorite meal? Like, what do you cook in Jenn's world, like on your average day?
I love salmon, wild salmon, and brown rice. I could eat that every day or every other day. And I like quinoa pasta with vegetables. That's another favorite of mine.
Okay, what would be something that, someone that really couldn't cook very well, that they could put together that would have all these, these elements? Make it exciting,
Make it exciting.
and healthy. You'd be surprised, like, how unhealthy, just your average person, what people are eating on a, a day-to-day basis.
Well, you know what I found really...
I'm talking about myself.
You know what I find really fun to make, and I didn't know how easy it was to make, is soup. So carrot ginger soup, or pea with green apple. You cook it up. You don't use any butter. You use water and organic vegetable broth if needed. You put in just herbs of your choice, and you cook it, and you let it simmer and let all the flavors connect, and then you let it cool down, and then you blend it or puree it. And you can add croutons to it if you want, or roasted nuts, toasted nuts, and it's just tasty and healthy.
I wanted to, I guess, try a little something with, I forget the name of the vegetable. Have you ever gone to Susan Lawrence in Chappaqua?
No.
No?
No.
It's a really, like, I don't know, it's like a funky little gourmet place. And they have the best dishes there. Would you ever think about maybe opening a store? Reaching out to people like that?
I would love to open a store in Peekskill. I would love to have a little, shop that I have, not really a deli necessarily, but something in that kind of realm where you can come in and grab.
More like to-go food.
To-go food.
Like if you wanted to get like a little healthy something for lunch.
Yeah, like a small cafe that you could also do to-go, take out.
Well, I know there's a lot of places closing in Peekskill, so you might be able to get your wish there over the summer, maybe.
Maybe.
I think it's just. Would it be easier for you just to be in Manhattan, or has being up here changed how you do business, or?
It depends on where the job is, but luckily we're not that far from Manhattan, so the drive isn't that bad.
Yep. So when you were not doing the Reel Chow, I guess you co-founded the Stitch Tailors. So how
That's daily.
busy is that for you?
It's busy, but we just ended Fashion Week, so right now we're doing a big Target job, and we just finished a Nike NFL thing in LA. So it's busy. We have a lot of work going on, but luckily it's, iPhone. I have my iPhone, I answer it, I can do jobs, I email people, and I'm on the go. And that's how I run it on the go.
So you do this, we're a stylist, a wardrobe stylist. So who got you started in that era?
Well, I was doing a PA. I was a PA for, I think it was a Target job or a Sears job back in the day when I moved here. And I just kind of threw myself into the wardrobe department. And I met the stylist, Gabby Basora, who now has her line Tucker by Gabby Basora. And she's a designer now. And she basically mentored me. And I learned the craft from her. And then I started doing my own jobs. And then came Stitch Tailors and then Reel Chow.
Any new companies on the horizon?
No, I don't think I could take on another company.
So what would you want our audience to just know about Reel Chow and what you're trying to do?
I guess I would just want them to know that Reel Chow is a place to go for healthy recipes, and that if they are in the mood to have a party and not cook, or want a romantic night with someone to come in and cook for them and set the table, then they could just give me a call and I would do it.
You might be getting a call from me. We need some craft service right here on this set. Some nice, tasty, maybe.
I know.
One of these days.
Brought something in.
So how can the audience get a hold of you? Through?
They can email me, or they can go to my website, reelchow.com, and or they can email me, Jenn, Jenn, at reelchow.com.
Okay, and for the Stitch Tailors, it would just be stitchtailors.com.
Yes.
Okay, well, I want to thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
I'm going to be looking on your website, reading the blog, try and cook a little, and definitely
And feedback is good, so let me know.
follow you on Twitter.
Please do.
In the Whole Banana, and I think I wish you all the best and the best success.
Thank you so much.
We're definitely in an area where people can afford your services, so
yeah.
You'll be getting some work over the holiday, probably, right?
I hope so. That'd be great.
Or over the summer. Which is the busiest time for you? Does it change?
It does change. I would say summer through winter. I mean,
for
yeah, so I would say
things?
maybe spring through the end of the year, and then it's kind of quiet around January, February for cooking.
Okay. Do you do craft service for a party or a corporate party? So
yeah, I could do that.
Okay, well, it looks like we are running out of time, so I'm going to say goodbye to our fans here, our friends. Thank you for tuning in. Check us out on YouTube. Like us on Facebook. Thank you, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.